Very quiet bunch tonight. We'll call the meeting to order for the Monday, January 6th meeting of the Hoover City Council and ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Council President Lyda.
Here.
Council Pro Tem Posey. Councilmember Sweeney.
Here.
Councilmember Driver. Here. Councilmember Murphy.
Present.
Councilmember Middlebrooks. Councilmember McClinton.
Here.
With a quorum present, we will proceed. If everyone would please rise for the invocation to be led by our clerk and remain standing for the pledge to be led by Councilor Driver.
Dear Heavenly Father, may we go through our journey in life always looking to you. May we not be distracted, but use the gifts you have provided to exemplify and honor you. May we rejoice in our faith and have unwavering confidence in your goodness. May the decisions made by our leaders bless this city, and as the cold is upon us, may you watch after all and provide places of warmth for those in need. In the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, amen.
Attention, salute, pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor Bricado, the podium is yours for some recognitions.
Good evening to everyone. A lot of good news coming out for our city, and I wanted to start out tonight by mentioning two young women that really represented us very, very well over the last year. The first one, Miss Allie Mims, who was Miss Hoover teen, who went on to become Miss Alabama teen, and last night she won the, night before last, the first runner-up for Miss America teen. So we're quite proud of her. And as we moved on up the chain there, so to speak, Miss Hoover, Abby Stockard, who also went on to become Miss Alabama, and as you all know, last night was named Miss America. So we're proud to have Miss Hoover win Miss Alabama, and then to go on to win Miss America. What an incredible title. We're grateful for her service, and both of them, how they've represented us in so many different ways, and we look forward to having both of them back at the podium or at different events as we move throughout the year, and they move, particularly Abby, as she moves through her service as Miss America. And of course, I would be remiss if I did not mention Miss Julie Bentley, who is the wife of our fire chief, who has just been instrumental in with that program and helping to develop those young women and nurturing them, and what a great representative she is as well, and a great mentor for them. So congratulations to those young ladies, and congratulations to the city of Hoover. We also, I've talked many times about how we have folks that volunteer in our community, and we've got some 800 employees, but we certainly can't do it without folks that step up and volunteer for us. And there are a lot of different boards that are out there and that serve us in many, many ways. But one I want to talk about tonight is the Park and Recreation Foundation. And there have been 4 longtime members of the City of Hoover Parks and Recreation Foundation. And I want to just tell you a little bit about this organization. Founded in 1991, the purpose of the Park and Rec Foundation was to advance the quality and the availability of programs and facilities for the residents of Hoover through fundraising and donations. And certainly the city funds our park and recreation, and we fund them very well, but there are certain things that we can't meet, we can't do every year, and that's where this foundation has stepped in. And I'd like to ask, before I go any further, if these 4 individuals would come up and just stand before us, the community here, and let me just say a few things about them. Bert Mullis. Bert, if you would come up, and John Gardner, Dennis Daigle, and our own Dee Nance, if y'all wouldn't mind just coming up and standing in front of the city seal there, we'd appreciate it. Absolutely. Yes, sir. Thank you. Hey, kid. How you doing? Good to see you. But the foundation has really been involved in so many things that have helped our city and our Park and Rec Board more than we probably realize. but they have taken on some really incredible projects, park benches and trash cans. Actually, two really important items in a park and rec program that sometimes can get overlooked. The playground, Hoover Explorer, all that money that was raised for the Explorer playground and what that playground means to kids that and families that couldn't ordinarily play on a regular playground. Now, it doesn't matter what your ability is, you can walk right up, roll right up, come up, whatever it is you need to get there, this playground will accommodate you. And certainly we're very, very proud of it. The Veterans Memorial at Aldrich Gardens in Veterans Park, what an incredible property that is, and recognition of our veterans, those that have served and those that have died as well. The Hartford Nationals and Move United, those are some great programs that we have sponsored here in the city, and just very proud to host that. Arbor Day 2025, archery supplies for Hoover Archery, pickleball nets at Sertoma. Just those are the types of things that they've been involved with, but probably one of the biggest ones is the Moss Rock Preserve and just the design of that. And Moss Rock, what a incredible that park that is for our city. People really come. I've met people from all over the world that come to Moss Rock and enjoy that. So we want to take this opportunity to thank each of you and just to mention a little bit about each of you if we could. And I'll start with Bert, was one of the original members of the foundation beginning in 1991. He retired from the Coca-Cola Bottling Company, where he served as the CFO for 31 years. And he served on the board of directors for 9 years after retiring. And Bert served the foundation he's a CPA by trade anyway, so he helped us with those skills, and he did that since all the way up to since 2002. Bert is spending, I know Bert personally, and he spent a lot of time with his sweet wife of 53 years who is here with us, and his 2 children and 7 grandchildren. So join me in thanking Bert for his service. And then John Gardner. John served on the foundation for 12 years. He resigned after 2024. He's moved out of the city of Hoover. We'd love to have you back. Don't know why you left, but I'm sure it was a good reason. But he has served us for many, many years and served as the foundation president. He's led fundraising community events and was involved with securing the golf tournament sponsors, which is a pretty important event for the foundation and for the park and rec. He's always trying to beat Dennis Daigle in golfing. I don't know which one's the best. Who's actually the guy? He's got all the trophies. So that's his goal in life now, to try to beat Dennis, and maybe one day he will. But John is spending time with his family and continuing his obligations to the Baptist Health Organization in his free time. Again, he's working on his golf game, and maybe one day, you never know, you never know. So please join me in thanking John for his service. And then Dennis Daigle, a very familiar face to our city, along with his sweet wife Betty, who's here. There she is. Good to see you. Dennis is retiring from the foundation after more than 11 years of service, and served as the vice president during his tenure until filling John's vacancy as president until 2024. So Dennis, he is, I guess, single-handedly led the golf tournament fundraising efforts, and it's also, they give away the Hoover Cup. That's the coveted award that you would get. Over $50,000 was raised for this event, and so it's, just a lot of work goes into that. Retirement from the foundation doesn't mean that Dennis won't be around. I actually see him around a lot. He and Betty, they're out in the city attending to, you'll see them out picking up trash on the coldest days of the year, the wettest, it doesn't really matter. They're out taking care of just serving our city as volunteers. They love the city, and we're so grateful for you, Dennis, and all that you do, and your wife as well. It's really phenomenal. So let's join me in thanking you. And Dee Nance. Dee served as the liaison for the foundation beginning in 2002, and she was really kind of instrumental in bringing it out of dormancy, so to speak. And after retiring from the city in 2022, she became a board member. During her tenure, Dee initiated fundraising events like Municipal Madness, our fishing tournament, and the Pancake Breakfast. Most recently, Dee initiated a partnership to host the first certified playground safety course in Alabama. We held that right here, and that was a spectacular event and just something we were very proud to host, and we appreciate your expertise in that as well. This turned out to be one of the most lucrative fundraising events, netting over $40,000. And then the Explore Playground was the result of really just Dee. We gave Dee this, this mission to bring the Explore Playground into reality. And this lady is an expert on working with individuals that have various physical or mental challenges or disabilities. She is an absolute expert in the field. She worked for the city and was a crown jewel. I loved having her here. She's an expert, a hard worker. She goes after it. She gets it done. And now we really, other than, there's a lot of things she's done, but I think your crowning moment to me was the Explorer Playground and something. So with that, I would like for us to thank Ms. Dee Nance. And we have a little something that is worthy of. We'll get a picture. We'll get a picture, and then I ask you to say something about it.
Frank and council members, I want to tell you, it's been a pleasure working with this group. They've really been a hard working group, and Dee has, of course, been our honcho on this thing. She's done so much for us, and she's really been an asset not only to the city of Hoover, but to the foundation. So we really appreciate all that you've done for us, the support you've given us, and we really appreciate the acknowledgement too. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. We will move to our consent agenda. Now, we were going to pull item number 2, the minutes approval from the consent to the regular agenda. Any member like to pull any other item 1 through 7, with the exception of number 2 from the consent agenda? Any member of the public here to speak on items 1 through 7? If so, we'll be happy to move that to the regular agenda and away from the consent. I'll remind you that the consent agenda will be read together, and we will take one motion and one vote without discussion, unless otherwise you would like to remove an item. Seeing none, Mr. Corley, if you'll read the items on the consent agenda.
Item number 1 is the payment of bills. Item number 3, Resolution 836025 approves a 160 special retail more than 30 days alcohol license for Appleton Hospitality Management, Inc., doing business as Homewood Suites, Birmingham, South Inverness, located at 215 Inverness Center Drive, Hoover, Alabama. Item number 4, Resolution 8357A-24 amends Resolution number 8357-24 accepting public improvements within the public right-of-way for Trace Crossings, 21st Sector, to clarify the requester as USS Real Estate. Item 5, Resolution 836225 authorizes donation of certain property detailed in the resolution to the Alabama Department of Transportation for the construction of the I-459 Exit 9 Interchange Project, and authorizes the mayor to execute any and all documents related to the donation of that property to the Alabama Department of Transportation. Item 6, Resolution 836625 declares certain public property listed in Exhibit 1 to the resolution as not needed for public or municipal purposes, and authorizes disposal of said personal property by way of donation, auction, or recycling. Item 7, Resolution number 836324 authorizes Mayor Brocato to execute an agreement with Fifth Asset, Inc., doing business as Debt Book, for specialized software to assist with management and disclosure of leases, SBITA, subscription-based IT arrangements, required by GASBA 96 and to execute any and all documents necessary for this agreement.
Mr. President, I move for approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and second for approval. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. The ayes have it, and the motion carries. Item number 2, minutes of December 12th, 2024 and December 16th, 2024. I understand we will continue those. Mr. Murphy, if you'll make a motion.
Yeah, making a motion to continue minutes, December 12th and also December 16th.
Second.
We have a motion and second for approval. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the motion carries. We'll now move to our regular agenda with item number 8, resolution number 8359-25, and I understand Mr. Murphy would like to continue this item.
Yes, yes, sir, Mr. President, to continue resolution 8359-25.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to continue. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the motion carries. That brings us to the end of a short agenda tonight. Beginning with council comments, I want to note the passing of Mrs. Faye Anderson. Ms. Anderson, as many of you know, was our first ever female councilor in the city of Hoover in the early 80s. And she placed a mark on this city that is still being felt. As the mayor talked tonight about Miss Hoover, Miss Anderson was fundamental in helping start Miss Hoover. In fact, she coached Tammy Haynes from Section, Alabama, Sand Mountain native. She coached Miss Haynes when she was Miss Hoover, who went on to be Miss Alabama. Miss Anderson told me that story about every time I saw her. She reminded me of that Sand Mountain connection. But there will be a service for Miss Anderson on Saturday, January 11th at St. Mark's United Methodist Church with a visitation at 2 and a service following at 3. Any other comments tonight?
Mr. President, if I can just piggyback on that, and thank you for that as well, too. She served on the council from 1984 to 88. So during that period of time, you start looking at history and the things that were developed during that time. She was a part of the development of River Chase Galleria, the Hoover Met. She served on the zoning board, the planning and zoning board. Also, she was for the formation of the Hoover School Board. If you look back at history, and I used to hear this story quite a bit, and to be honest with it, it bothered her after time passed. It hurt her because she fought for the school systems, and they told her we will not elect you if you continue down this road. She pushed it anyway, did not get elected. And what did bring her a lot of pride and faith in the community is people that were against her and pushing her not to do that. They came back and apologized and said, "You're absolutely right." And she said that probably has something to do with their property taxes because of the school system and things of that nature. But she just was a great individual, a great mentor to me. Didn't stay on the phone with you long, tell you what she thought, and got off the phone right away. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you, Mr. Murphy. Any other comments from the members? Very good. Any comments from the public tonight? Yes, sir.
Ken King, Rossbridge Parkway. 2 quick comments, or questions rather. First, just a reminder that we submitted the questions that we gathered from citizens that we hope you guys would actually submit to Kroll. And it's been about a month now, so don't know who is kind of overseeing the timeline, but if you guys have a sense of exactly how much longer it'll be before we get a response, that would be helpful.
Anything else? We'll answer that question. Anything else?
Sure, thank you. The second thing was really just around, saw an article today, 1819, about, I think the last time I was here, I think Councilman Lyda, you made a point to, I think someone in the audience who had raised a point about Kroll having been paid or something, an email went out or something, then you stood up and you said something to the degree of, I want to correct a false statement that was made, that Kroll had not been paid. It looks like, based on the article, that they had actually been paid $14,000 or something. I don't know. I think Corley said it was from the goodness of his heart or something. But just, I will concede that possibly the fact that maybe Corley's firm paid the $14K and not the council, maybe just a slip up. You didn't necessarily mean it that, you know, the way it came out that they had been paid when you didn't believe they had been paid. My question or point of contention is that it could have easily been just simply a misstatement but you made it a point to say it was a false statement. So now I guess my question would be, now that it looks like Corley's firm did pay $14K out of the goodness of his heart, would you concede that perhaps Mr. Schultz was correct and accurate when he said that Corley or that Kroll had in fact been paid? Would you concede that that's possibly the case? Or are you still standing by this idea that he made a false statement?
Do you have anything further?
Yeah, that's a question for you.
Do you have anything further?
You have an answer?
Do you have anything further? We want to know.
Do you have an answer?
Can you confirm that the Kroll questions have been sent?
They have been sent.
Do we have a timeline on response?
I do not. I've emailed to try to get find out when it might be, but there was a number of questions that they have to go through. So it was a number of pages with a number of questions.
Very good. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Anything else?
That's it.
Thank you very much. Anyone else like to speak tonight? Very good. We're adjourned.